Well, in their most unified response yet to the global financial crisis, governments across Europe have decided to put up 1.7 trillion euros as sureties for their respective banks. Britain, Germany, France, Italy, and several other EU economies have announced cash guarantees and other emergency measures to save the banking system. Liu Yanhua has more.
Britain waded in with £37 billion of cash to save three major banks, the Royal Bank of Scotland, HBOS, and Lloyds TSB. The move, which made the British government this bank's main shareholder, is only the start of Britain's rescue plan for banks. The government has earmarked £50 billion for financial institutions in return for shares.
In extraordinary times, with financial markets ceasing to work, the government cannot just leave people on their own to be buffeted about. For savers, for small businesses and for homeowners, we must, in an uncertain and unstable world, be the rock of stability upon which British people can depend.
The German cabinet, meanwhile, approved a rescue package that will provide 400 billion euros in bank guarantees, plus a further 100 billion euros in state funds to recapitalize banks.
They have one goal. They should create new trust. Trust between banks, trust in the economy, trust of citizens. Trust is the currency which is used to pay. We had and still have to deal with the excesses in the markets. It is the state's job in a social market economy to control this. The state is the guardian of order.
The French government says it will provide up to 320 billion euros to guarantee bank refinancing and another 40 billion euros in state funds to recapitalize banks. The Italian government also put together a rescue package for the country's financial system, but Rome hasn't set aside a specific amount as other European countries have done. Other Eurozone countries also announced similar plans on Monday. The drastic steps came after governments in Europe promised a coordinated rescue effort at an emergency summit in Paris on Sunday. Liu Yanhua, CCTV.
Well, coordinated actions by European countries have once again injected confidence into the world's major stock markets. On Monday, major indexes in Europe and the United States rebounded after the previous week's record losses. Here again is Liu Yanhua.
On the London stock market, investors are reassured by the news that three major British banks could take £37 billion in government money to boost their capital. On Monday, the FTSE 100 index jumped more than 8% to close at over 4,256. It's the biggest one-day surge since mid-September. At the close, Germany's DAX was 11.4% higher at over 5,062, while France's CAC 40 was up 11.2% at over 3,531. Meanwhile, Wall Street also snapped back from last week's devastating losses. All the major indexes rose over 11%, setting a new record of the biggest increase in one day. The Dow Jones Industrials gained more than 900 points above 9,387. But analysts say Wall Street is likely to see volatile back-and-forth trading in the coming weeks as investors work through their concerns about the overall economy. Liu Yanhua, CCTV.
Well, most Asian stock markets also made gains on Monday after last week's historic sell-off. Sun Wei takes a closer look.
Chinese stocks recovered from early losses on Monday. The benchmark Shanghai Composite Index gained 3.7% to 2,073.57 points. It had dropped 3.4% by May-Day in volatile trading. The Shenzhen Composite Index added almost 2% to 541.32. Hong Kong's key index, the blue-chip Hang Seng, soared 1,515.29 points, or more than 10% to close at 16,312.16. South Korean shares rose sharply on Monday. The Korea Composite Stock Price Index gained almost 4% to close at 1,288.53. The Australian share market rebounded strongly on Monday in response to a government announcement that it would guarantee all bank and other lender deposits for 3 years. The benchmark SP/ASX 200 index and the broader All Ordinaries Index maintained momentum during the day's trade, and both ended about 5% higher. Monday's rise came after moves in the U.S., Europe, and elsewhere to help prop up the world's ailing banking system and restore investor confidence. Song Wei, CCTV.